Thanks for joining us. You are listening to the Total Access Radio Show. I am your host, Steve Ornest, and I'm here with my co-host, Blake Baldwin. We have a very special guest on our show today. I first heard about this artist from a handful of bands that I produced in the last couple of years that were coming in the studio and saying, have you heard of this amazing band called Holy Wars? And so I finally listened, and now I'm the guy that goes around to other producer friends and I ask if they've heard of this incredible band. So welcome to the show, Kat and Nick. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Wow, thank you. That's really cool. I didn't know that.
This is a true story.
I'm blushing. Thanks.
So before we get too far into asking you guys about your creative process, I thought we would kick this off with your latest single, which is Bolt to the Head.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Satisfied under the covers, I kinda smother, sucking out your life. Yeah, you know you want it, but it ain't worth the price. Now everything is fucking, I'm so sick of playing nice.
That was Bolt to the Head by Holy Wars. What a track that is, guys. Tell us a little bit about that. When did that come out?
Thank you. That came out when the album came out on April 29th. So that was like the focus track that dropped with the album. But that song was actually created from a guitar pedal that sounded like a video game. You know which one that was?
What pedal is it?
It's the Data Corruptor, Earthquaker. Yeah.
So cool.
I just gotten that one, and one of the settings on it goes. I was like, oh. At least that's what I was playing, but like the
falling. I was like, it didn't go down in it. That was
it's just what the pedal did. And I was like, I think we could make a song out of that. And she's like, it sounds like a video game.
Totally.
She keeps saying over and over, it sounds like a video game. So eventually when we did
dying in a video game.
The lyric video,
Right.
She's like, I wanted to have like this video game element to it.
Like an 8-bit video game
Yeah,
where I get struck by lightning every time. And it also just makes sense lyrically because the song is about looking for lightning in a bottle. A lot of people that come to LA, but I think this message is probably for a lot of people in different industries as well. But looking for that pot of gold that you're sold, and then you realize all of this was not real, and it's more rejection than it is accolades. And but with that, you know, you learn a lot from that. So, but it's all about that. And one of my favorite lines is when it says, when hope becomes a crime, because every time you want to leave the city, you're like, but it could be right around the corner. If I give up, that's when I'm going to get my big break. And that's when maybe, you know, it's kind of a depressing song, actually, 'cause it's saying hope is actually a crime. Don't have any hope. You're just going to die in a video game. That's it.
I get this from listening to a lot of your songs, that there's like a lyrical honesty. And I'm wondering, like, how much of that, when you're writing songs, like, how important is that to you? Like, being vulnerable and being honest, is that everything, or
literally everything? Yeah, it's because it goes back to when we first started this band. When my parents passed, it was all about honesty and life after death, and in one's own, you know, struggle to stay alive themselves. So even though the music and the context has changed a bit, because, you know, I've grown and changed and he's grown, we still want it to be completely true. And I think everything I sing about, even the way he makes the music, you know, we're never really chasing anything. It's just kind of what we're feeling, what we need to say at the time. And yeah, it might not be like a, you know, top 40, but for us, we're like, this song's a fucking hit because it's honest. It's honesty, you know. It's how we feel.
Yeah, it's a banger. The synth or guitar sounds reminds me of one of those like laser guns, or like you'd get as a kid, that just like made all those like random explosion noises. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His guitar solo too is like that vibe. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main riff of the song. The same one I was singing before in the chorus just ran through another chain of pedals that like it's like there's like a whammy pedal inside of it's like a different kind of housing for it, and I was just recording that performance in there, and I was like, well, I'll never be able to do this again. Like I can never actually play that solo.
Literally lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So it only exists on this recording, which I think is kind of cool, and then but could never repeat it. You know.
Yeah.
What did the songwriting like start with some of the riffs, or was there like the lyrical idea first, and that? I'm sure every song's a little bit different, but I'm just curious, like. Yeah, how did it play out for this one?
This one, I think we write in different ways. Sometimes I'm like really resistant to like start making a track, because then I think we get too concerned about like drum sounds and all this kind of stuff, and I really want to focus on the lyric and what is the song actually going to be about. So sometimes to give her something inspiring to work with, I'll just pull out the electric guitar, but I'll play really quietly, so it's plugged in, but it's really quiet, so still everything she does, whether it's really loud or really quiet, seems really big in comparison to what I'm doing. And in this day I was plugging through that pedal into like a very quiet guitar amp, and it got the wheels turning for her, and
cool.
This one came together pretty quick.
Yeah, this one was, I knew instantly. I was like, oh my God, this has to get on the album. But sometimes some of our songs, especially on this album, was created from a song title. I just wanted 1% Milk. I wanted to talk about the 1% of America that is usually old white men. And it was also 1% of the time, 1% of the dime. What about the other 99? And I was out on a run, and I just had that in my head looping. And I came home and I told him, and he was like, that's great. You know, so that whole song came from a title. So sometimes it's a song title. A lot of times it's a lyric, guitar pedal. It really is just, there's no real method. It's just kind of whatever happens.
Yeah. So Nick, you're also, aside from playing guitar, you're producing all of this material as well. Man, you're killing it.
Oh,
so
thank you very
cool.
much. Thank you.
The thing that I love about this stuff is that it feels very stylized, and it feels like there's an intent from the beginning. The same way that we're talking about lyrical honesty, it sounds like you have a vision from the beginning and you're just chasing it.
Especially on the new record, like the lyrical concepts and all the sounds, just like I wasn't like so familiar with all the stuff you guys put out, so I went back and listened to some of the old singles you guys had put out like in 2017 and like I guess in 2020. And then to the jump to this record, it's like, dang, it's just like such a clear picture. And it's so awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just wonder if like you set out for like a certain sound and then it stayed the same, or if you've like felt it evolve into something that you wanted it to, or felt it evolve into something that you could never have imagined.
The first record that we did, the first EP, was a tribute to her parents. And that record, you know, it had a heaviness behind it, but it was also, for us, was a record where I remember we just kept saying, like, let's make a record that sounds like stuff we used to listen to when we first got excited about music. So there's a lot of grunge and you know, Failure and Radiohead and even, I guess, newer stuff like Yeah Yeah Yeahs and Savages. We were like, let's just put all of our favorite stuff in there. And we had no really even concept of like what was current or popular, or like, you know, how to write a 2.5 minute song that it does, you know, hits all the bass. We had no thoughts about that. We were just trying to write a record that made us feel good. And then after we did that, we were kind of like, well, what do we do now? Like we couldn't do another record like that.
It was hard to follow that because it was
right.
so heavy and personal.
So it almost felt like starting the band over after that, because we knew we wanted to do, we couldn't do the same thing, and we had to do something new. And aside from doing this band, I guess you could say our day job is writing for film and TV.
Sure.
And that really helped stretch our songwriting and producing muscles a lot. And so what you hear from like the first record to this is the evolution of like our skills as writers and producers, to where like this is, to us, doesn't seem like that big of a jump, because we know all the other types of music that we work on that you would never believe that like we did that too. And you'll hear it in
like a Christmas song.
You'll hear it in a commercial or like in a Netflix show.
Totally.
And like that's us too, you know?
But yeah, and lyrically it was really hard for me personally to write about something that wasn't about my parents, because this band wasn't even meant to be a band. We wrote Back to Life first, and I didn't like the song at first, which is crazy because now I love that song. But at first I was like, no, I don't like it. I don't know why. It just was too much, too fast, too soon. And we played a show at the Echoplex, and we didn't even have a full set of songs. We had to write songs just to fill out a 30-minute set. And it was from that response from that first show that we decided, oh, people like this. It's not just for me to not, you know, like to like become something again after that, what I just went through, and for him, but it was for people too, you know, not just for us. And after that first EP, we both were kind of at a point where we didn't know what to say next. I didn't know what to say lyrically. He also was like, I don't really know what I like at this time. And so you'll see a gap in our music. And I think we were doing like one single a year, maybe two singles a year. And then we wrote Little Gods. And I remember feeling I wanted a certain feeling from the audience when we played live that just our EP didn't quite have. You know, it was a lot more mid-tempo. And I just wanted people to fucking rage. I felt so much anger inside of me. And I had to get it out. And I wanted people to just feel this electricity. So we wrote Little Gods. And I was so, at that time, just upset with where everything was going with this internet, and how I feel like we're all back in high school again, chasing a popularity contest. And it's all about likes and comments. And nobody really cares about the content. It's just, are you viral? And so Little Gods was written because of that. It got to Allison Hagendorf, who was doing rock at Spotify at the time, and she was like, what is this song? I love this song so much. We're like, oh, you like this? We're like, well, we got a few more that we're planning on writing. And it was her encouragement and just the response to that really helped us lean and shape this record. And I personally wanted to write something for people and not just about my own personal struggle. But I'm like, I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, and maybe other people can connect. And there it was. And we just started following that the one crumb led to another.
Yeah, I before we actually started recording, I'd asked you guys if you were fans of George Carlin.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked is because I guess that's part of it, is the view of the lyrics is definitely outward. There's a little bit more like satire, like ironic social commentary. It's a little bit political.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense to hear what you just said about how it's like a reaction to all the things that have been going on social media, plus in the world in general, right?
Yeah.
The little bit of cynicism is, I think, like the most appropriate reaction to a bunch of the negativity floating around
It's so
in the
true.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it Fisher Price Riot Rock because I'm like, okay, I don't want to preach too hard to people, you know, but
Yeah.
I want to like say it in such a way where it's like Dr. Seuss, but it's saying some serious stuff. So that's why you have TV Dinner, 1% Milk, Battery Life, and then even like the juxtaposition of what he's doing and the sound, and even like Who Stole My Cheese. That I wrote that because there's a book called Who Moved My Cheese, and it's like a children's book. So I put that into the song. So I love that you're saying this, because to me lyrics are everything. I care more about that than even like showcasing my voice or anything. It's more about what I have to say, and I don't need to like try and pretend I'm Adele or anything. It's just
Well, you got
Yeah.
pipes.
Yeah,
oh, thank you.
You got pipes.
Thank you. There's a couple songs on the album where people are like, "Oh,
There was
damn,
actually
you guys
one.
can
my,
sing."
my sleeper favorite is oh crap, I'm spacing on the name now. It's towards the end.
Everyone is
the one we were-
staring.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Everyone
that is the one that
staring.
people are like, "Wait, where did this one come from?" Yeah,
I was singing it when I came in before you guys were even here.
hell yeah.
Stuck in my head.
That one is actually one that we had
Banger.
in our back pocket for a little bit, and it's about my parents. It's about
Oh.
that one was a follow up to our first CP, not written at that time, but you know, written around there, and that song is about after, while you're in grief, coming back to society, because the world moves on when you're struggling and you're suffering, but eventually you have to make the decision to go back to life, to get into society again. And I just felt like a social pariah. I felt like people were afraid to ask me how I was doing, because they didn't really want to know, but they also didn't want you to think that they didn't care.
Totally.
And I saw a lot of reality of how we are as people. And I'm not better, because I've been through such serious loss. And now when my friends go through the same, I'm also like, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just a human reaction. But that song is really special to us. And we didn't know how to get it out. And I felt like, I was like, it has to be on this album. And just put it at the end.
Yeah.
Surprise people.
No, it's awesome.
So how much touring have you guys done on this material?
Just once. We just did a 5-week tour nationwide, but it was so good.
Were you guys headlining or were you opening up?
We were supporting, yeah.
That's awesome. Who was the artist that you guys were opening up for?
Nightclub.
Oh, cool.
I'm like passing. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Didn't you guys play some shows? Like, was it for Papa Roach?
Yeah, we supported Papa Roach. So we were kind of like the local band support. Like we opened for Rain Wolf. I love Rain Wolf. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Papa Roach. They put on a fantastic show, and the nicest guys ever,
That's awesome.
which is great, because I was like, oh, good. You don't want your heroes to be mean. That would suck.
Yeah.
But we never really made it out of LA, except for like little local areas, because it costs a lot of money to go on tour, and we were waiting for a demand for it and an opportunity to come along, and we got a really great opportunity to go, and we learned just how important live music is. And after the pandemic, these crowds were excited, and it really gave us all the validation that there is a scene out there, and they really want it. So we want to keep touring, and so it's the first of many, but
That's
we've
awesome.
only had one in this band so far.
Yeah. So one of the things I was going to ask is, do you find it easier to open for artists that are established, like bands like you just mentioned, or is it easier if you guys are headlining? Because I feel like a lot of young artists think that if they were to go and support a band that has like a built-in crowd, that it makes it easier in some ways, but that's not always the case. Like sometimes you have to prove yourselves, or there's like just a different, changes things a little bit. And I was just wondering what your experience on that was.
I think it's a great approach to open for more established bands if you can. I think that seems to be like an approach that like a lot of up and coming bands are trying to do, is to try and get that great opening slot, opening for some really cool band. At some point, you do have to go out there and see who shows up when you're like the main featured artist, and
Sure.
That's kind of scary for a lot of bands. But I think it's great to open for more established bands because you learn a lot. Like when we play with Papa Roach, I remember finishing our set and being like, we did really good. This was good. And then Papa Roach goes on, and then you're like, it's like in the blink of an eye, it's like it's a different soundboard, console, lighting show, stage design. Everything is completely different in the blink of an eye, and then they blow the roof off the place for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and he's crowd surfing, and people
He's
are losing their minds. This is the
somersaults
greatest
into
night
the
of my
crowd.
life. And you're like, oh, that's how it's done. Okay, cool. And you learn a lot that way. You know?
Yeah. But you're right. There is a lot of proving yourself. We played 2 nights with Papa Roach, and the first night, fans were really into it. And the second night, they were great, but I felt we had to work a little bit harder for the second night.
Sure.
So you never know what you're going to get. Luckily, with the band that we just went out with, their fans were really great. And it was easy,
Right.
But I think I changed my way of thinking too. And it's something that I learned on this tour, that instead of going out there and thinking, oh, I want them to like us, or I want to make all these fans, and you make it all about yourself, I think that's probably the wrong approach. And I think a better approach, and what I started to do before every show, is I want to give this audience the best night they've ever had. I want to give them a great show. I want to make them feel something they haven't felt before. And in return, of course, that will then make a new fan. But I think when you don't make it so much about yourself, it gets you out of your head. You perform better. They're at ease. And it's just a better show all around. And because I used to have it the other way, where I was like, oh, I want everybody to like me. And, I hated every show. I wasn't having fun because
Right.
it was too much pressure, But with a headliner, I think it's easier to be a headliner because the audience is already there to see you. They're already excited. As soon as the lights go down, they're cheering.
That's right.
But there is pressure with that too on selling tickets. So I think both. I love being an opener. You have a shorter set. It's like it's just you're on, you're off, and you're like, cool, that was great. When's the next city? But you do have pressure. So I think they both have challenges and good things about it.
When was the last time you had a TV dinner?
Oh God, I've had so many at this point now.
Have you really?
Shooting TV dinner.
like the classic, like Hungry Man.
Yes.
Like cheesy.
Yeah, I wanted to get the original. So
What's the OG? What's
Was it fried chicken?
no, it was
Steve's interested now.
Swanson's.
Can I get some?
Swanson, and it was like a tin. And the beginning of our TV dinner music video, we did a parody of a 1930 something commercial,
Yeah,
Swanson's TV dinner commercial.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's just the music video for TV dinner. And if you at the very beginning, and unfortunately for us, we had that shot before WandaVision came out, and afterwards people are like, oh, you were inspired by WandaVision. I'm like, no, you fucking idiots. I'm so mad. But I should do one with the side by side, and we are literally saying verbatim what was said. Like, well, you gals will love it too. Like, it was so misogynistic, and it just was everything of that time. And I really wanted an original TV dinner from that era, but I mean, it would be like moldy or frozen. So we got Hungry Man's, and when we did the release party for the album, we had burlesque dancers, and she came out during TV dinner before the set, and she was taking the TV dinner, eating it, and then throwing it at the crowd from above. Yeah. So she was the last one to have
Love
the TV
that.
dinner, but I've had way too many at the point where it got me sick.
Yeah, they're not good, right? I mean, I think
it's
I have
terrible.
had one, but maybe I was a kid. I can't remember.
Well, they were supposed to be in the oven for like 30 minutes, but then microwaves came out, and now it's like, within 5
Really?
minutes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a shorter dinner for the housewife, era,
Gotcha. Right.
Norman Rockwell days.
Yeah.
But now it's a microwave thing for 5 minutes. But the original TV dinner, I think it was like less than 30 minutes. So it still was like a long time to cook a meal. I don't want to spend 30 minutes on a meal. So.
That's so funny. For it to taste like that, especially.
I don't have
Yeah.
30 minutes to do anything anymore. I'm surprised. You guys got me 30
Actually,
minutes
I
right
need
now.
to
I'm
leave,
shocked.
so-
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we asked you guys to do in preparation for this was to put together a list of songs that you guys are inspired by, influenced by, and I thought that we would kick that off just by listening to the first couple of songs. So the first one that we're going to play is All American Rage by Joker's Hand. This is a band that I actually produce, and let's just give this a listen real quick, and then we'll chat about it.
Rage. Hey, I'm not your friend, I'm just here to make dividends. Hey, so don't pretend that you're willing to give a shit. Nah, yeah, let's go full send about the capital in the end. Yeah, don't show me red, you'll be wishing that you were grinding pussy in front of me. Yeah, don't sell, just buy. Good at getting those numbers high. Yeah, this car I drive, you'll be chasing it all your life. Yeah, what's left to lose? Check it at 11, I'ma make the news. Yeah, be scared of me. All you motherfuckers weren't fan of me. Yeah, I'm out of sight. We be getting higher than a satellite. Yeah, so look around. Reaching for the stars, we ain't left the ground. Rage! All American rage! Raise the minimum wage! Staring death in the face! All American rage!
Take away the pain, replace the sadness in my brain, held underfoot by greater men who say they're here to build us all a shelter. Wasted, complacent, erasing my options by the day. What a way to grow older.
Rage! All American rage! Raise the minimum wage! Staring death in the face! Lock me up in a cage! All American rage! All American rage! All American rage! All I wanna do is suffocate your point of view, leave the power to the few in the air again. All I wanna be is what your people wanna see, while you're begging on your knees, American.
That was All American Rage, Joker's Hand.
Yeah.
So little known fact, those guys, they're big fans of yours. They love
They're
you.
awesome.
They love you guys.
We love them back, and I love it. I feel like it was like, can we put this on Eat It Up, Spit It Out? It's just like the whole vibe. That's why I picked it too. It's everything I like and everything I like to talk about, and I feel like these guys just got it. So I think
Rockin'.
it's cool.
Let's check this next one out. This is Spit by Workasm.
Yeah.
My time, coiled, corrupted, my nation rusted. I've had
It is.
Brutal. That is
Yeah.
so awesome.
I just saw them at the Echo too. They rip. They're so good. I threw in a couple wild cards in there, but I'm really into UK scene right now. A lot of the UK punk scene too is something I'm really into. I have obviously Nova Twins and Bob Villain.
That's awesome.
yeah.
That song is so cool, GDP.
Yeah, they're great, and they were really great guys. Like we're setting up a writing. We have a song that we wrote for them, so hopefully it'll come out. But yeah, it's very UK based. But I was like, I gotta throw in some more mixes. I gotta like diversify a little bit.
Let's check it out. GDP, Bob Villain.
Yeah. The BBC are talking about the GDP. Fuck it, miss me with that mess. Coming for the belly when we run up in your address. Get caught sleeping, take the money from the mattress. Man know the roads, there's no need for Atlas. Trying to take all that you own and leave you cashless. Cash rules everything around me that matters. So the purse strings are tighter than Thatcher's. Desperate times, desperate measures. The news says we're in this together, but everybody I know seems to know better. Rob you for your diamonds when we feel pressure. It's all fun and games till someone goes broke. Break in your house, we heard you sold coke. Catch you late night and snatch your gold rope. While the news keeps saying keep calm and keep hope. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. I gotta eat. You know what brothers gotta eat, right? You know what brothers gotta eat. Yeah, brothers gotta eat. You know what brothers gotta eat, right? You know what brothers gotta eat. I remember Frank laughed when I said I bought a stab proof. Couple weeks later, ops ran up and poked him. I was in the hospital sitting right beside him, but I'm too good of a friend to start gloating. Could've said I told you so because I told him. All the ends want is their watch face frozen. A baddie named Elsa riding in the whip with a shank on the hip and a necklace golden. And they'll be golden, yeah, right as rain. Quicker than the weather, your whole life can change. This rat race might drive you insane. I seen friends rob friends for lines of cocaine. It's all fun and games till someone gets kidnapped. Man, I'm really with that. I know a few that did that. Snub nose 3-8, don't care for your six-pack. Try rob the wrong one, they might push your wig back. The BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. I gotta eat. You know what brothers gotta eat, right? You know what brothers gotta eat. Yeah, brothers gotta eat. You know what brothers gotta eat, right? You know what brothers gotta eat. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. Yeah, the BBC are talking about the GDP. That means fuck all to me. I gotta eat. You know what brothers gotta eat. When they ask how I feel, I reply that I'm fed up. Some are drowning in money, I'm barely keeping my head up. Price of life on the rise, I'm feeling like it's a setup. Cause nobody that I grew up seems to be getting a leg up. So we buy it for 5 and sell it for 10. Re-up another 9 bars, sell it again. The advert says that we need a brand new Benz, but to get it, some man are killing family and friends. Yeah, chasing the dream, either make it or steal it. Seems like the choices are take it or deal it. No need to be told there's hard times ahead. When it comes crashing down, poor people gonna feel it. Let me make it clear, this wretched system isn't playing fair. I couldn't give a fuck if this country hates me here. They stole the people, displaced and placed us here. And the only joy I get is when I bait the bear.
Yeah. There's so many. I'm like, oh man, I should have added idols. I want Ice Peak in there. This World is Sick. So many favorites. You just give me like 100 song playlists. I'll get it.
That actually was going to be one of my questions. What's the artist that didn't make the playlist that people might not think you guys are fans of? Like, you know,
Well, I think Ice Peak would be kind of obvious. We really love Ice Peak. They're
Like-
from Russia.
Okay.
That's one.
What's like the not obvious one? Just curious.
We love hip hop.
Kanye? Actually, Kanye would have made the
Yeah.
playlist.
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator and Kanye and
Yeah.
Kendrick are probably some of like the coolest stuff.
Baby Keem.
Yeah,
Lizzo.
Rosalia. We love like a lot of non-rock stuff equally.
Where do we go from here, guys? What do you want to listen to next?
What about K. Flay and Tom Morello? TGIF.
I love this track, by the way. I hadn't heard this before, and that solo is
I was gonna say something
everything.
about that.
Like,
It's
I,
so great.
I've
Yeah.
been listening to it on repeat since you guys sent this. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, I love both of them. They're great.
The world is run by lunatics, so who gives a fuck? Let's light it up, let's make a mess, let's coalesce, let's make a fuss. The world is filled with psychopaths, so I wanna jink, I wanna fight, I wanna rage against the fucking machine. They tell me I can't be myself, but myself's all I can be. I'm unique, and I do it 7 days of the week. I'm feeling free, but the world, they wanna keep me down. See, I'm a king, I won't let anybody take my crown. God, it's Friday, and I'm feeling alive. I'll do it my way, till the day that I die. Thank God it's Friday, and I'm getting some love.
Middle fingers up till the Reaper shows up. Yeah.
The world is owned by maniacs, so I'm making art, I'm going hard, I'm taking names, acting insane, breaking guitars. The world, it don't take prisoners, so I'm going wild, I'm acting up, cause I got sick of fucking marshmallow. Lost in the mosh pit, coughing, wanna call God, but he's out of the office. Clickbait shots till we all get nauseous. Amazon boxes looking like coffins, I'm exhausted, but I ain't dead yet. Life's a dogfight, baby, come and place your bets. God, it's Friday, and I'm feeling alive. I'll do it my way, till the day that I die. Thank God it's Friday, and I'm getting some love.
Middle fingers up till the Reaper shows up. Yeah. Middle fingers up till the Reaper shows up. Yeah.
God, it's Friday, and I'm feeling alive. I'll do it my way, till the day that I die. Thank God it's Friday, and I'm getting some love. Middle fingers up till the Reaper shows up. Thank God it's Friday, and I'm feeling alive. I'll do it my way, till the day that I die. Thank God it's Friday, and I'm getting some love. Middle fingers up till the Reaper shows up. Yup.
That Tom Morello sure knows his way around a whammy pedal.
Yeah.
Yo, how is he
Been there.
making those noises? Someone tell me. I love at the end when it gets super glitchy.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I know.
There was a little bit of that at the end of the Wargasm tune as well, where like there's some crazy glitch stuff happening in the bass, like
yeah,
right
yeah.
before the end.
Yeah, I love that when it's like unexpected sounds in a track. Tom Morello, that's like a dream to work with Tom Morello or Zach, Brad, the whole fucking band.
In your guys, all over the new record, there's a ton of like ear candy moments. Like, how many different kinds of distortion are on that record?
That's a you question.
We were nerding out about that
10
earlier.
10,000.
Lots, yeah. More distortion, the better, and all different types. You know.
It's funny you
Yeah.
said ear candy because that's something he's been saying a lot lately. It's like
Yeah.
he wants to even take music simpler, even track wise, but have a lot more ear candy moments that you have to listen to again and again in case you miss something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Spending a lot more time these days on like the details that like hopefully someone can listen to the song multiple times and catch something they didn't catch before is what I'm spending a lot of time lately on. But also simplifying the songs and lately like the new stuff we've been working on. We're really excited to show people because it's it's different, more simpler and straight to the point, but like somehow it feels even more exciting, you know? So
Yeah.
we're really hyped on it.
How do you look for those little things, those little special little moments to incorporate? Like, you know, like how do you decide on something, or you just have to wait and feel it out, like in the moment as you're working on it, or how does that happen for you?
Usually what I like to do is I listen for spaces in between the vocals,
Yeah.
and I try and see if there's something that seems obviously like it could go there, or sometimes there's little accidental things that happen and it's just there, and I just don't delete it. I just let it happen, whatever it's there. Just let it be ugly and
Wrong.
be there, or and then maybe I'll exaggerate it, and maybe that goes even further than what I meant it to do, but maybe it started like 10 seconds ago, but you don't actually hear it until much later on, so it sounds like, oh, that's a random spot, but where it started made a lot more sense. So you know, just looking for like little happy accidents, and but mostly like if it doesn't get in the way of the vocals, then it's usually anything goes, you know. Yeah.
Or I talk a lot before the take. I'll talk, and it
Yeah.
used to annoy him too, because he's like, "Don't start." You know, I'll be like, "I don't know." I'll be like, "What the fuck?" I don't know. And then now I'm like, "It's in the song."
Now that could very well start
So
the song.
TV
now.
dinner
Yeah.
has like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and it's in there. And there's a few other ones.
There's
that-
a voice memo on the record too. Is that you driving around?
Yeah.
There's one moment where something about pills. We got all the pills
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Is that you just
That's
literally
a
driving
voice
your-
memo, and because
I love it.
we really wanted. Well, actually, no. I really wanted an intro interlude. Like I really wanted to fill out everything. Like you're in an intermission, and we did like all those harmonies and we arranged everything. But that one, I wanted us to recreate it, and it was actually Nick's idea where he was like, "No, I think you should just keep it the voice memo. It has such a vibe."
Yes.
So we left it as the voice memo, and I even like do like a mouth fart in the end of it. I was like, and that made the cut. So, and it's funny because I think it comes after, because it's if your head is feeling ill, we got pills and Benadryl, and I think it's after Bolt to the Head. It's like it's perfectly after that. So the whole. It's like the whole album is a commercial from the 50s. That's just like Twilight Zone. That fucks you up. It's all.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I really appreciated that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't fight it, but I was like, we gotta do it. We gotta have an intro. And then my buddy Mark did a voiceover, and he sent one long voice memo where it was like, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you." And he was like, "Get your refreshments." And then when he was like, "Fuck you," and I just left them all in there. So in the end, it's like, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming." It's like, "Fuck off and drive safely." Like it's the whole thing. So yeah,
That's so awesome.
I loved it.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Shall we go to Not Dead Yet, Devora?
Yes. Okay. So Devora is a very good friend of ours, Ariel, who is killing it right now, and she's doing something that's called Gothic Country.
We were talking about this the other day, and I said to Blake immediately, like, I love this track. He's like, of course you do, because it has country vibes all over it. And
Yeah.
I was like, I need to listen to it again. And then when I did,
Yeah.
I felt like an idiot, because I was like, yeah, totally. Like, it is Gothic.
It is
I
Gothic,
totally
but that's
get it.
literally how she's even acknowledging it as that.
So cool.
Yeah. So I had to throw her in there. She's awesome.
Not Dead Yet, Devora.
Six feet deep ain't enough for me. Got no sleep.
Not Dead Yet by Devora. It was awesome. I love that little guitar line that comes in at that last chorus. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're great. You know what I was thinking? I was like, I should have like messed with you guys and put like a Dream Theater song on there or something
Well,
for like
actually,
30 minutes.
We were talking about instead
and then
of.
just make you sit and listen.
I mean,
30 minutes.
we were talking about pranking you guys and not actually playing Bolt to the Head and being like, and here it is, and playing just like a random song. Being like, wow, you guys are great. Like,
I would have went with it. I would have been like, oh, thanks. My motivation behind this track was, yeah.
oh man, now we know for next time.
Yeah, I like a good prank.
All right, so what do we have left here? I think there's just one more song to check out.
Oh yeah, this is actually a newer artist to me. This person can sing, like your face off. Really good.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
Cassiette.
Petrichor.
What
by
is-
Cassiette?
Oh.
No, go ahead.
What's a petrichor? It sounds like a Star Wars
I
monster.
have no idea.
What is it, Cassiette?
No idea. I should know.
It's a monster in Stranger Things. So here it is,
Yeah.
Petrichor, Cassiette.
Petrichor on the floor of your mind. I'm sorry for this pain I caused, the rain I left behind. Petrichor, we left paralyzed. A battlefield of vortex, we shattered from the fight. I've got an ache in my heart, can't fix this hole in my Didn't think we could restart. Maybe we're better off dead in the water. 'Cause we ain't like we were before. Yeah, look up your sons and daughters. There's no one left to trust no more. I'm caught in your spiral. Can't find a cure. Ready for
That was Petrichor by Cassiette. Thank you guys so much for putting this list together. It's turned me on to a lot of songs and a lot of artists that I had never heard before.
Oh my God.
Same.
So cool.
Eat It Up and Spit It Out is one of my favorite records of the year now. And it's been such a pleasure to listen to it and get to
Thank
chat with you
you.
guys. Yeah,
you.
Thank
really
you so
appreciate you both
much.
so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on and doing this. It was
Thank
a blast.
you. Thanks for
Yay.
having us.
You guys did great. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Would you guys be up for, I don't know, maybe playing a stripped down song for us?
I think we can do that.
All right, what song are we going to hear?
This is Battery Life. It's about deadweight friends. Cutting off the dead weight, goodbye. Sucking up my battery life. I know you like the way it hurts, but I won't be your crash and burn. Go stay in your lane and just worry about yourself. Your negativity ricochets off me now. Go meditate that hate while I go take a bow. So stay in your lane and just worry about ya. I'm used and abused. I'm judged and accused. So cut me out on the loose. Sucking on my battery life. Cutting off the dead weight. Goodbye. Sucking on my battery life. I know you like the way it hurts, but I won't be your crash and burn. Cutting off the dead weight. I'm out. Oh, you give a bad taste in my mouth. I know you like the way I hurt, but I won't be your crash and burn. I cut the head off a viper, but it keeps growing back. Don't give a fuck about boundaries and all my booby traps. So leave me right where you found me. How about you mind the gap? This train is running and running and running. I'm bruised and misused. I'm lost and confused. So cut me out on the loose. Sucking on my battery life. Cutting off the dead weight. Goodbye. Sucking on my battery life. I know you like the way it hurts, but I won't be your crash and burn. No. Cutting off the dead weight. I'm out. Oh, you leave a bad taste in my mouth. I know you like the way it hurts, but I won't be your crash and burn. Crash and burn. Sucking on my battery life. Cutting off the dead weight. Goodbye. Sucking up my battery life. Know you like the way it hurts, but I won't be your crash and burn. Cutting off the dead weight. I'm out. Oh, you give a bad taste in my mouth. I know you like the way I hurt, but I won't be your crash and burn. No.
This is Steve and Blake, Total Access Radio Show, signing off.